Hi there. Do you want a drink? No? I'm paying. You're lost. So, you wanted to know about my first big story after joining the financial pages. Ever hear of a CEO called Sir Simon Turrell Brown? No. I'll give you the lowdown. Simon Turrell Brown, KBE, lived in London with his barrister wife Sonia and two children, Thomas and Tanya, in one of those elegant white stucco townhouses, an estate agent's dream where children and parents spread their belongings over numerous floors and the family enjoy meals around a luxury fitted kitchen, straight out of a glossy magazine or a property supplement. Anyway, one day, Simon Turrell Brown comes home, closes the impressive front door behind him, but straight away he knows. Game's up. What, says Sonia, holding up a full packet of cigarettes, is this? Simon stares at the 20 Temptations miserably and thinks to himself, this is exactly the moment when I need a cigarette. But despite his mild protestation, Sonia continues with her famous courtroom determination. The moral, legal, and medical arguments bolstering every indignant syllable. Tanya, aged 10.5, putting on her shoes before Mummy takes her to her flute lesson, even offers her own evidence for the prosecution. Daddy, you said you'd quit. Your lungs must be like sponges. Thomas, towering above them at 14, views the whole scene with his habitual indifference. And then, as usual, he asked for a £20 note to see him through a night out with his friends. Scenes like that drove Simon to it. The strain of not being able to... creeping around, having to keep secrets from his wife and buy cigarettes. It was all too much. It must have been the strain that made Simon open his wife's closet, finger the silk lingerie, flimsy blouses, dark skirts, and tailored jackets. Made him succumb to stripping off and tremblingly, excitedly, putting on a bra, lacy knickers, loose-fitting dress with a tie belt, and finally slipping into his wife's high heels, the ones she wore when they met the Queen and Prince Philip. It must have been the strain that made the CEO of a publicly listed company, a blue-chip one at that, smear a fetching shade of crimson on his lips, rouge his cheeks, and darken his eyelashes and eyelids with the contents of Sonia's dressing table. He was careful. It only happened when Sonia was out at one of those charity dinners for one of her numerous good causes, and also the children were away. Everything got put back in its place, right down to washing and drying the bra and knickers. Sonia may have wondered at her dwindling nail varnish supplies, but she never guessed. She never knew. This was his one moment of sanctuary, a vision in the mirror, cherished only by him as he sucked hungrily on a cigarette and soaked up his reflection in Sonia's authoritative garb. The stress of Simon's work made sleep difficult, but like this, he could relax. Doze off, maybe. Sleep, even. Tragically, that was his downfall. When Sonia and the children came home, they found firemen dousing the charred building with water. I can safely leave to your imagination the lurid headlines, both tabloid and broadsheet, after the discovery of the body. And then after the furore had died down, along comes the inquest, releasing more details and fueling more stories in the press. But Sonia and the children, they faced up to it with admirable fortitude. Perhaps, though, the timing was fortunate after what we discovered about creative accounting at Simon's company. And then the extradition procedures against the remaining directors to face charges of fraudulent financial reporting in the United States. Sometimes Sonia was even glad that Simon died when he did, if not as he did, because then she was finally free, after a suitable period of mourning, to marry a non-smoker.